Well, among conservatives, saying you're a libertarian has always been a way to say, I believe in everything having to do with conservatism except the embarrassing stuff. Except the stuff, except the spiritual warfare, casting out demons from certain zip codes, which was a big part of Ted Haggard's paradigm and the church, the Pentecostal church that Sarah Palin is involved with. So it's always been more of a gesture than anything else. Of course, the people who call themselves libertarians within the Republican Party, at least, have been quite willing to go along with these kind of violations of civil liberties that have kind of gone along with the war on terrorism. Although there are genuine libertarians on the right who've been actually quite heroic, at preserving the principles of civil liberties. Among Democrats, among liberals who find themselves enraptured by the concepts of libertarianism, it's not as good a fit. I mean, some folks have been talking now about libertarianism, which is the idea that liberalism can be stripped of its kind of paternalistic elements and respect the autonomy of people better. Well, the problem with that is that's always been the ideal of liberalism. And liberalism at its best, and the Democratic Party in its most mature form, has always attempted to create the maximum amount of equality alongside the maximum amount of freedom. Now, it's something that's often honored only in the breach, because that's the hardest thing for human societies to be able to accomplish. But the liberal vision dovetails with what's called in the rest of the world social democracy, which is that you can't really enjoy anything like liberty unless you have some minimum standard of living. Unless you're free to change jobs if you hate your boss and you're not afraid of losing your health insurance. That's neither paternalistic, nor is it socialistic. It's entrepreneurial, right? So that's straight down the center of liberalism, and that's something a libertarian would reject because it involves expanding the role for the state. But a liberal, at its best, understands that sometimes expanding the state can actually enhance liberty in pretty profound ways.